What's up, guys? I'm getting ready for my first big cosplay convention of the year, and I thought this would be an awesome opportunity to show you guys how I get ready to cosplay at conventions. Now, to start off with, this is going to be a super basic video, so my veteran cosplayers out there, you might watch this video and you might think, duh, I already know this, but you guys might also have some tips that I leave out. So if you guys have any tips at the end of this video that you think would be great to share, please leave them down in the comments below. Let's make this a video like full of learning. And then just to also let you guys know too, I am a classic overpacker, and I'm gonna like talk about that too with a couple different cosplay pieces that I have. So I bring things whether or not like I think I'm even gonna use them, if they're in any way, shape, or form relevant to my cosplay. But with that, let's get started. So before we even get packing, I want to emphasize it's really important to go ahead and try all your stuff on to make sure it fits the way you want to fit. Cons, while they're super fun, they are also super stressful. And so the last thing you want to do is, have a cosplay that doesn't fit properly. Like myself, I ordered a Yumiko cosplay because the one I originally ordered, the one that I've been making TikToks in, it was way too tight. And while it might be fine, I was fine with the fit in terms of like making TikToks, taking photos, like it was fine for that. To walk around in a convention center in a super, super tight, like uncomfortable cosplay, it's not always the best idea. So if you're able to, try on your cosplays, make sure everything fits properly, and do this at least a week, if not more so beforehand. So that way, if something doesn't fit, like I'm going as Toga Himiko as well. If I don't like the way the sweater fits on her, I try it on a week ahead of time. That gives me a week to locate another sweater to get input with the cosplay. It's totally just a suggestion. I realize that not everybody has the ability to go out and replace things, a week before con, especially if you are, saving hard for a convention. But if you're able to, it'll go a long way in terms of comfort. All right, so I just want to start off with showing you guys the bag that I'm going to be packing in. Yes, I'm a little bougie. I got myself a garment bag. This is about $50 on Amazon. If you guys are interested in the one that I use, I will leave it down in the description below. This is super basic. You don't need a $50 one. They've got $10 ones on Amazon, or even cheaper if you want to have like one for each cosplay that you're doing. The dancer in me would totally do that, but I wanted to make sure I had something durable because I also love too that it has pockets up here that I can fit my stuff in. Now, unfortunately, I probably won't be able to fit all of my cosplay shoes and accessories in this bag, but that's okay because we can take more than one. But yeah, so this is where all of my cosplays will be going in, and then I'm going to show you guys how I set up my cosplays to go in the bag. So basically what I do for my cosplays is I try to get them to fit on one hanger if possible. So obviously like the shoes that I have for this cosplay aren't on there. Also forgive it for being wrinkly. I got this a week ago to replace my one that's too small. But if I were to pull back the buttons, let me unbutton this real quick, you can see that every piece of this cosplay that I can fit on there. So we've got the badge, we've got the necktie, we've got the jacket, the shirt, you can see the skirt, and then under the skirt we have the tights. So literally when I pull this out of my garment bag, I will have everything minus the wig and the shoes ready to go. And it also kind of helps me to make sure that I have all the pieces I need for my cosplay. So, I don't have to like worry like when I pull out my Nezuko one, do I have the bow? Do I have the string? Like, do I have everything? Everything that can be attached will be attached. And I'll actually show you what I do for little accessory pieces like I have for Nezuko. All right, so I've got Nezuko, and as you can see, all of her accessories, and actually this is a point here where I say I overpack. I've got two different muzzles. I've got the muzzle that it came with, which is made out of a fabric material, but then I ordered a plastic one because I wanted one that looked more realistic. Now, I don't know if something's going to happen the day of a convention, especially because this is a cosplay I want to work with a photographer in. I want to make sure that I have the props I want regardless. So as you can see, Nezuko doesn't wear two bows. My cosplay came with two bows. I'm packing them both regardless. Now, unfortunately, not everything you will be able to clip to your cosplay and throw on a hanger, so I will actually have a separate bag for shoes, socks, any accessory that I can't connect to the rest of my cosplay. So this is the bag that I'm going to be using for all of my non-attachable props, accessories, shoes, stuff like that. It just happened to be a bag that came with the suitcases that I've had since like, I don't know, forever. But yeah, it's actually like the perfect size. And I know I made note that my garment bag has the ability to like house accessories and things like that. If it was just me cosplaying, I probably would make use of the space in that bag, but I have a full lineup of cosplays for the weekend, as well as I have a cosplay for my boyfriend. So it's a little snug in there. I've got too many shoes to fit in there, even with some of my characters sharing shoes and things like that. So it'll just be easier to kind of stick everything in one place. And I do like to keep my cosplay stuff separate than like my layman's clothes. Just because it's a lot easier to know like you're going into a bag and this just has cosplay stuff versus, you know, going through an entire suitcase and having to dig through your normal clothes on top of your cosplay. Totally just a suggestion, and it's my best way of staying organized. I also wanted to share with you guys my walking around bag. So if you guys, if you guys aren't prepared, cons can be very long and hard, and it's always great to have a day bag with you. So in this bag, I'm going to include things like a change of clothes, makeup wipes, snacks, water, things like that. So that way, if I get hungry, I have something that I can grab really quickly. I don't have to wait in line. Same thing with water. If it's your first time cosplaying, I definitely recommend bringing a change of clothes, because unless you're used to wearing cosplay all day, it can be a little difficult. I know my first couple conventions, I could not last all day in cosplay. And this convention, I definitely need to be prepared, because usually, so the convention I'm going to is in between two buildings. Usually there's a little like metro, subway, whatever you want to call it, that goes between the locations. Unfortunately, this year, because of COVID, it is shut down for the weekend. So I will not be able to like sit in between, venues. And so I will be bringing a change of shoes to wear. I will also be bringing a change of shoes for my boyfriend to wear, because even though it's not a huge difference between the two venue spots, it's enough so that like it can be uncomfortable wearing those shoes like on the sidewalk. And so, you want to put comfort first. If you're not taking a photo, or, if you don't want to like suck it up, I definitely recommend bringing those things. Everything I listed outside of like the snacks is so that if you get tired and you're done being in cosplay, you don't have to go all the way back to your room to get changed. Like, you can go to a bathroom, slip out of your clothes, and then you have a place to put your cosplay while you're there. On top of that too, I did forget to mention, I would also recommend bringing, the stuff that you would use to pack your cosplay, i.e. mostly, the bags and things for your wig, so that way you're not throwing your wig into a backpack and it becomes a hot mess. And that's basically the bulk of how I pack for cosplay conventions. All of the like articles of clothing for like cosplay and stuff like that, I will do that like a week in advance. The only other thing I really have left to do is makeup and hair pieces. That I don't really think we need to go over, because you know what makeup you need. I do suggest that you do that at least the night before. At least give yourself some time, so that like if you're missing anything, or you're like me and all of your makeup decides to run low like the week before convention, you have time to like make an Ulta run or whatever and get the makeup you need. I will say that I will also, on top of my makeup, I also will put, wig stuff in there. So, I'll have the wig caps that I plan on using, plus extras just in case something happens to the wig cap, because, everything disappears when you need it. If you are running low on makeup, I always pack extras, just to make sure I have more than enough, because again, there's enough going on at conventions without you having to make a drugstore run or like run out somewhere and find something. Even with like, in the case of where I'm going to be staying, the center where the cosplay convention's happening, for me, they do have a CVS at the facility, but even then, like, it's a lot to get down there, because elevators tend to be backed up with all the cosplayers and stuff like that. So you just want to make sure you're thoroughly prepared as possible. For me personally, I will probably pack all of my additionals plus whatever makeup I'm using for conventions that's not in my regular rotation. So like, I won't, pardon me while I throw stuff on the ground. So while I won't pack my blush and my contour kit, I will pack the eyeshadow palettes that I used for my cosplays, because most of those I did buy specifically for the cosplay. And then real quick, just a huge tip before we end the video. If I had a rule when it came to cons and like bringing anything at all, I would say do not try new stuff at a convention unless you feel comfortable doing so. So for example, like on my Ulta run, I decided that I was going to finally like pick up some NYX eyeliner. Now, I've only ever used eyeliner like this, so using this is completely out of my ballpark. I would not suggest trying a new eyeliner the weekend of a convention because you just never know how it's going to turn out. And I swear, like, any little frustration can make the day miserable because, again, as exciting as conventions are, there's so much going on. It can be so overwhelming. And so, and I mean, this rule, it goes from anything as small as eyeliner to a new shade of blush, to anything as complicated as like a camera, you know, because I've actually really been trying to hold off on buying a DSLR camera, which I know if I bought this week, I would be taking with me to Youmacon. But that would not be a good idea. But there we have it. That's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any tips that I might have missed? Was this helpful for you at all? If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you guys more content.